What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the world's greatest Go Rush weekly watch list. This week, I have a very focused list for us. We made a lot of big gains last week. Our biggest winners last week were Tesla. We hit Tesla for about 1,500%. We had Baba, which gave us about 600%. And I mean, you can see Baba, it stalled out for a few days before it really took off and broke down and gave us what we wanted, right? What else did we hit big last week? There was a couple of them. But the watch list was on fire last week. You know, starting next week, I'll go in and do an actual recap with good risk reward, so you can see exactly where the plays ended up. But so let me just get started, so I can get through this pretty quickly, and then we can take some requests. Right. So the first ticker I want to look at, obviously, the market SPX. So with SPX, am I sharing my screen? Yes. Okay. So with SPX, I was really nervous with this supply zone over here. So all this consolidation and then a massive drop, even with some gaps down, right? Like I was really worried about what price would do when it got back into this area. So I was really nervous on Friday, just kind of watching it, you know, and I've been overall bearish for the past like week, you know, although we did play a bunch of calls. I think I've been calling calls every day, but I was still very nervous, right? I was still extremely nervous. So right around here, I was waiting for it to kind of pull back. I called out a 40-25 put, which didn't go well at all, right? Complete lemon. And then it kind of formed this wedge and it broke out and then retested the high of day, formed the handle right here, right? You have the cup and handle, and then continue to break out into the end of the day. So we're in supply. So, I mean, I think that we can chop around in this box for a little bit. It really depends. But tomorrow's the first day of the month. So tomorrow we might get, you know, every beginning of the month, new money rushes into the market. And usually it goes up, right? So there might be a potential for this to really rip tomorrow. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to try to make any predictions. All I'll say is that we'll watch the price action. One thing I do like is on the weekly, this is my weekly chart on the right-hand side. On the weekly, we finally got a bullish MACD cross, right? So the MACD and the signal line got the bullish cross right here. And that's after weeks and weeks and weeks of having a negative histogram, right? Same thing on TTM, negative histogram. And now we're looking like we're going to work our way back up to the zero line on the TTM, right? And the MACD, that bullish cross, that's a very nice signal, because these weekly MACDs usually have a little bit, they're more steady. They have a little bit better, they're not as choppy as like a daily or the smaller time frames. They like really take their time to form. So the fact that we have a bullish cross is very nice. So I'll continue to watch that. All right, so let me get right into my my focus list. So the first one, let me see. Can you guys, what is this? Let me switch my screen. Give me a second. Switch to this one. Okay. So the first ticker I have on my screen is on my watch list is Carvana. Carvana, I like this setup a lot on Carvana. We played it a couple weeks back and we got some money on it on a Friday, I think it was, like 2 weeks ago. But anyway, Carvana, what I love about Carvana is that it formed this double bottom right here on the daily, and then it formed the higher low, right? So we have the double bottom here, 1, 2, and then we have the higher low here, which is the beginning of an uptrend potentially, right? And I'm not saying let's take Carvana and trade it for months and months and months. All I'm saying is that it's showing strength right now, so we should capitalize while it's showing strength. So if you look at the MACD, you know, it was getting strong, weak, and now it's same thing, strong. It weakened, and now it's showing a little bit more strength, right, on the daily. TTM is I would say it's still stable. I mean, it's not like this, but it's still stable, shooting upward very slowly. That's nice, right? So the momentum indicators are on our side, and then we have we broke out through last week's high. So if you look at this, these are the weekly candles here. So let me just pull this up, make it a little bit more clear. So last week's high was 28.93, or 2 weeks ago high was 28.93. Last week we broke through and made 29.60 on Friday. So that's very bullish. That's very bullish to break out and make new highs and trend upwards, right? So that means we have 1, 2, 3 back-to-back weeks of higher highs on these 3 weeks, and we also have fresh highs because of, you know, we took out the high of a month ago. right? So now we're targeting this next high here, this next pivot, which is going to be a tough target because, I mean, obviously, as you can see, look at how crazy price shot down after this. So I'll be watching it. I love the monthly because I love the weekly because if we can get above these two pivots here, then we can really start to take out some of these short stops, right? And really put in a nice move to the upside. This is what's called a potential pivot machine gun here. So, I mean, we really need to get up above this level here to start really moving. But I like it to break the daily downtrend and at least try to test this pivot here at 32.37, right? That's the first real test. So I'll be watching it. I have my alert set for just above this. Actually, I don't. I'll set it now. Just above that trend line. So I want to see it come up above the trend line and really show strength. So break of 30.07 is like when it really gets my interest. Break of day high if you like it and you want to watch it on your chart. And then you have your levels. I'll have the levels posted up in the server, but upside I see 29.60, 30.70, 32.37, 34.29, and then even number 35, 36.38, right? And then for downside, I have a break of 27, 26.08, 26.50, 26.08, 25, 24, 23.20 for Carvana. So the next one that I have on my chart is Disney. Disney is showing really great strength right now, and they have earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. So we have a potential for an earnings run up on Disney. Oh, and by the way, Carvana has earnings in like 4 days. By the way, it's on the 4th, which is Thursday. So we might get a move into earnings. We might get a move out of earnings. So let's just be aware of that for Carvana. So Disney has earnings in a couple of weeks on the 10th of August, and Disney is just showing a lot of strength. Right, we got a double bottom on a daily right here. Right, we got this bottom and this bottom right here on the daily. Even though we did put in the lower low, but it's still fine. We had this falling wedge that broke out, and we've been playing. I mean, I remember entering Disney. I think we were here on this day, or we entered on this day. We caught the break, and then we I swung into Monday and Tuesday, but it's been going insane the whole time. If you look now, we have the cup and handle formed on the daily. So here's a cup, right? Price action comes down, comes all the way back up, pulls back a little bit, and now rips. We still got to take out this high here for it to be like a real rip, but this is just a clean move, right? So if you look at the MACD regained bullish strength, is getting dark green again, and TTM is shooting very steadily upward. So this is the momentum on the daily is very nice. If we look at the weekly momentum, we got the bullish cross 2 weeks ago on the MACD. So by bullish cross, I mean the signal line cuts through the MACD line, and we start getting the green on the histogram. But also, not only that, but also you see how high this blue and orange line go and how low they go. It's like an RSI, so it's all the way down here. So now it can potentially, if this thing is really strong, it can swing all the way back up here to where it was before. And if that happens, then we'll get a nice swing in price. Let me bring this back to where it was. We'll get a nice swing in price, maybe back into this area where this gap is, right? So just zoom in a little bit. Oops. So, and we had some nice basing. Now, good clean buyer stepped in on this day and just really took it up. And it's been going on for the past 3 weeks. And now we got to take out this high here and this high here. So the levels that I have for, and this is a 2 up, right? A 2 up candle. The levels that I have for Disney are 106.34 at the upside levels, 106.34, 107.06, 107.43, and then I have 108, which is this blue line here, and then I have and then 108 is pretty much my last number, but then the next one I have on the chart's 110. To the downside, we have a break of this previous resistance, which held it down for 4 days, acted as support here. So I have that, and then I have 104.26, which is the low of day, I believe. Oh no, 104.26 is here. Low of day is 103.37, 102.71, and then 101.61. Your risky entry would be if we break down last week's high, which was on this day, which was 104.57. If we break that down, that's your risky entry to the downside. I don't like this to the downside. We can come back and find some more support in this area, like I think around 102.73, but or 102.71. But I don't really I wouldn't play it to the downside personally. Again, they have earnings, so you know, and then they just dropped the Multiverse of Madness. They have all the new shows, you know, every couple of weeks or whatever on Disney Plus. So I wouldn't bet against Disney personally. The next one that I have is Oxy. Let's see, Oxy. And if you guys have any requests, you can throw them in a study hall channel, right? Any requests? Requests. Study hall. Okay. So the next one that I have is Oxy. We played Oxy, I believe, on Friday. Let me just double confirm that. Energy's been kind of on a tear recently. Let's see. Oh, we play XOM. Let me look at XOM real quick. Yeah, XOM has a very similar setup. It's showing a lot of strength. So I'll have something drawn up for XOM too. I like how it looks, but I like how Oxy looks a little bit better. And the reason why is because it held this weekly trend line. You see this trend line on the weekly on the right hand side. It held that. Even with the dump, even after reaching all-time highs or 2022 highs, consolidating and then dumping, it still kind of bounced off that line a couple times. It formed a double bottom on it, right? And now we kind of formed like kind of a cup and handle also, right? You see like the cup starting here on June 13th and worked its way down, came back up, consolidated here to form that kind of a handle, and then really started getting nasty with the range, right? Look at this big rangy candle right here on 26th of July, right? We put in a range. We went from a low of 61.78 to a high of 66.05, so $4 and change on one day, which is pretty big for Oxy. So we came down and formed a supply zone. I don't know if this is, yeah, I mean, it based around here a little bit. It based and it kind of, buyer showed interest on this day, came back, touched that same support, buyer showed interest, and now it really started to move out of it. So and Friday's move was really, really nice. Let's see, we have the new weekly high, right? So 3 back-to-back high, 1 and 2 new weekly highs. We invalidated the weekly head and shoulder. So I was looking at a shoulder here at on the week of May 2nd, and then the head obviously, and then another shoulder right here to reject. So far we've been invalidating it. This can easily come and push back down, but so far I think it's invalid. We have higher highs and higher lows on a daily chart, and we have that triple tap or cup and handle breakout. So I think we can get a nice $2 day in either direction. Personally, I think that I like it for the upside. Obviously, if we break above this level, we can get up to 68.84 pretty quickly. But it has good risk reward on both sides. So excuse me. So upside targets 66.12, which is a strong resistance. Then we have 67, which is just an even number. 68, which is just an even number, and then 68.84. Which is the previous resistance here, and obviously a bunch of support back here. So let me just pull this line back a little bit there. And then so 68.87 rather, right? And then we have 70, which is a round number right in the middle of this range, and then we have the top of the range here, which is 71.28. So that's upside. And then to the downside, I have 64.81, which is, show you where I found it. 64.81 is just the intraday pivot right here. Right, we got the intraday pivot, 64.81, 63.73, 62.27, 61.60, and then from there we can go down to 61 and then 60. So I don't know. Energy is been kind of tough to play. Right now it's obviously in an uptrend, back in an uptrend. It had to pull back because it was going way too strong at the beginning of the year. So you know, just be nimble with it. Catch it on a day where it's like, don't try to guess. You see like a day like this, if you try to guess if it's gonna do it because you got in early and you wanna, like if you get in on this as soon as the weight opens tomorrow at 65.71 and it doesn't break this line, you might get killed, right? So just let it pick the direction and let it break down and then alert you, right? But I like it to the upside personally. And it looks like they have earnings on Tuesday as well, so we might get one day out of it, and then we'll have to either swing through with time or swing through with no time, you know, depending on what you want to do, depending on your craving for pain, right? So that's Oxy. The next one I have is X. I missed X on Friday. I usually catch X at least once a week. I missed it this Friday. I had a nice move on Friday. Low of 21.87, high of 23.79. About a $2 move. It's a nice move for X, especially on a Friday. So let's see. So they have positive earnings results, right? So they beat on the earnings per share and the revenue. And then a positive result can result in earnings drift, right? So that means, oh, it broke up to the upside because of earnings. It might continue moving up just for a few days or weeks or whatever, just because it's positive, right? It did a cup and handle on a daily right here, where you can see where this line is. It kind of formed that cup, and then it formed the handle right underneath the resistance line, and it broke through. 3 days of massive move. It formed a new weekly high, right? So here's the last week's candle, and look at the previous week's candle. Now we're digging into some of this box right here, this little range right here. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes, and that's a 2 up. That's a 2 up candle. So we have this candle, which is a 2 up because it broke the range of this one to the upside. We have this candle which broke the range of this one to the upside, and we have this candle which continues to break the range to the upside. So price is going back up. Price is going back up, right? I'm just gonna zoom out real quick on this weekly, so you can see that there's a kind of a broadening formation where price is discovering where it can go. We got these highs here, and now we have these lows here, and now we bounced off the low a couple weeks back, and now we look like we're gonna work our way at least back to the middle, which is around 28, and then from there, at 28 we'll reevaluate whether we're gonna go back down or work our way up. Really, we got to take out this box right here, this little consolidation right here. We got to take this consolidation out first before we can really get rippy and go up back, try to get it back up to these levels. Let's see. Weekly MACD is about to give a bullish cross, right? So we're about to get that bull cross on the MACD, probably maybe 2 weeks. Depends on what it does. If it's this week, then you'll see a big green candle. If it's next week, then this will slowly move up, right? So I don't think we'll get it this week. TTM is losing bear strength. So this is very strong bearish momentum, and now we're losing it. Now it's weak. It's still bearish, but it's weakening, right? So that's a good sign for anyone who's bullish on X. Let's see. And again, what I love about the weekly momentum indicators is that they, they're very slow and steady. They're very slow and steady. They don't go nuts. Like they're not like up down up down up down. They take their time to form. So you see that they kind of form the full histogram, then a full histogram on the downside. So I like that. I like that a lot. I like the setup on X. I think that X is gonna pay off. I don't know if it'll consolidate this week or not, but we'll see. I'm gonna run through my list, and then we'll do your requests. I see a few in there already. Next one is CAT. Some of these I didn't get to draw entirely, but I'm gonna do it live with you guys. So CAT broke out through the 50-day SMA. Right, this red line. The target is the 200-day SMA, which is right here at 205. Right, CAT's very strong. TTM is firing to the upside, so it was stable these 3 days, and then it shot. It got volatile and shot up on this day. Right, you see the green, and it's continuing to move up. So I think we have another at least 1 or 2 days left on the upside. So in 1 or 2 days, maybe we could see that 200-day. Right. Let's see. The weekly MACD and the weekly TTM are both losing bear strength. They're bearish, but they're both losing it, right? And then we have 2 back-to-back 2 up candles for breaking the range of the previous candle on a weekly. So that's very bullish. Let's see. And then if I zoom out of CAT, because I know that it has a broadening formation as well. I didn't draw it on my weekly, but it's on my daily. But it's the same thing. We found some new lows and we found some new highs, and we bounced off of these lows pretty hard, right? Consolidated right around the 21-day and then went straight through the 50. We might come back down and test the 50. Maybe not. But we have earnings on Tuesday. So Tuesday is going to give it the real direction. Caterpillar, if you know or if you don't know, they manufacture products that are used on construction sites. Earth movers, diggers, things that people use to build homes and renovate homes and job sites and buildings. So think about the think about the state of the market and whether or not people have been building and people have been, there's been construction. Think about all that stuff in the housing market. The only thing I'll say is, if CAT for whatever reason had an abundant supply of their equipment during this time, right, during the past couple of months, and they had to lower their prices to get off their supply, then it might be potential for really, really good earnings, especially if the expectation was low. Let's see what the last earnings was. Yeah, I mean, they beat big on pretty big on the last one, right? And so if the expectation is low because they knew that the housing market was potentially going to slow down and quote unquote economy was already doing terrible at this time on the 28th of April. So if they guide down and then they rip it, then it might be a good result. So let's just watch it. I don't know what it's going to do. Upside levels 198.42, 199.49, 200, right? Even number. 201.25, 203.13, and 204, right? And then the 203.13, 201.25-ish, that's where the this area here is going to be where it's going to hit traffic because of that 200-day moving average. So I'll be wary of that. So I'll keep that on watch. On the downside, we have 194.55, which is a 50 SMA. Break down below the 50 SMA, we have 193.05 and we have 191.43. And then it can, obviously, if it does that, it can work its way back into this box here at around the 180s. CAT it likes to make big moves, so so don't underestimate it. Okay, so the next one that I have is, and I don't have an analysis written up on this, so we're gonna have to just do it live. Next one I have is UPS. UPS, I've been watching it for a couple weeks now. These are the levels that I had for the last week or 2 weeks ago when I had it on my watch list. And you see the kind of a head and shoulders pattern into a breakout, right? We broke through this neckline here at 184.80, 188.48. And we put in a big ass candle on Friday, massive candle. And that was after a positive earnings result. So they reported earnings, looks like on the 26th. Which was Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday, and they beat on both sides. I guess they guided really strongly, or actually they didn't guide very well because it gapped all the way down. It gapped down from up here at 188 all the way down to 170. What did it open at? 179.25. And then from there, people said, "Oh, I still like the value in this. I want it," and they bought it up. And the people here are probably sick that they sold it. But they bought it all the way back up to, it went as high as 195.73, which broke the previous range of all this price since, let's see, all the way till early April, all that price action, all that resistance was taken out with this one day. So that's extremely bullish. I think that UPS has a little bit more to go. I think with the earnings drift, I think people are going to catch FOMO off this green candle, off this break of resistance. People who cover short here are going to buy it, right? So upside levels, I have 194.44, and then you have high of day at 195.58. Then you have 196.92 to the upside, 200, and then 225, and then 202, all upside. Downside, I mean, listen, I would let it play around in this range of this day to discover itself on this day. Let me go into the 30-minute or the 15-minute probably is better. Yeah, I mean, I would let it kind of play around. If you want, you can take it down from 194 down to these previous resistance levels, right? Down from 194.44, which is this kind of pivot area, down to 192.61, down to 190.88. You see where it kind of paused there. So that's a decent area where it might go back. And then back down to 188.48-ish, right? This area here where it previously kind of slowed down. This is all on Friday's price action, by the way. And these lines were all drawn from, I mean, you can see where these pivots came from. These are all these levels here that it interacted with on Friday. So if you want the put play, you can take it for the short term. I think that maybe it'll come back down here to this 188.48, right? Work its way back down to this 188.48, test resistance, previous resistance, and then work its way up. Maybe, but I probably wouldn't even touch it to the downside, to be honest, because it's just so strong. Let's look at the momentum indicators. Yeah, I mean, MACD's all over the place. TTM's all over the place on this. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly's good. Weekly's got the bullish cross 3 weeks ago. We got 1, 2 directional up days, up weeks rather. TTM is losing bearish strength. So the weekly looks really good. So is the daily. Obviously, it just needs to continue. It has to really take out 200, I would say. 200 is the key level to break. Let me see where are the moving averages are. And the 200 days at the 200 day looks like it's gonna meet it at 198.66. It'll probably meet it at 200. So so just be aware of where the 200 days at. We got the bullish cross over here too. So just be aware of where the 200 days at. That's the target. Next target 200 in price, and then next target 202, 206, and then maybe 216 one day for UPS. So the next one that I have is Caesar. Caesar failed inverse head and shoulders breakout on this day, on this time here. So I'm going to delete that. It fell down, formed a bunch of gaps, and now it's kind of recovering, right? Now we kind of have an inverse head and shoulders forming again with a shoulder here. Draw it out for you. And then I'm going to get into your request pretty quickly here. Head, shoulders, head, and shoulder, right? And the other shoulder is much higher. So you want to see that. You can also see kind of a cup and handle, whichever one looks best to you is the one that you should be playing, right? So so above high of day, which was 45.86, we can see easily 48.73. Only thing is they have earnings on Tuesday, so we might get a good play on Monday. If you like it, take like a multi-pack, 5-pack or something on it, and then keep one for earnings if you want, or maybe just buy a bunch of time on it. I'll be evaluating this. A lot of these have earnings, so I just want to be kind of careful with earnings because we don't know what's going to happen. But I like it technically. We had a double bottom with the higher low, or the inverse head and shoulders, right? The double bottom with the higher low. Who had that? Carvana had a double bottom, higher low, right? So now we have it again on Caesar. Double bottom, higher low, right? There's also kind of a falling wedge vibe here. I'm going to draw it out real quick. Anyway, I think it looks bullish to me. We got to wait to see what earnings does, right? Here's your falling wedge, here's your breakout, and then it's continuing. Higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So form a higher low, form another higher high. Directional 2 up on a week. So the last week broke out above the previous resistance of the week before, which broke out above the previous resistance of the week before. So that's very bullish. Let's see. And then we got the bullish cross on a MACD right now, like today, like right now. So Monday, if it puts in a green candle and works its way up, we're gonna have a nice histogram up to the upside, and we have this MACD signal line, which is way down here, which can go way up here. So very, very nice setup on a MACD. TTM slowly working its way back to zero. TTM is a little bit slower than MACD, by the way. TTM is really good for the 1 minute, 5 minute if you're scalping or whatever. Really, really good. So I like Caesar. Only thing I would be careful with is news. They're very susceptible to news, especially with China. They have a big footprint in China or Macau, and there's a bunch of when one thing goes bad, they put a lockdown down there. I don't know if like the Chinese gamblers come to the States and it makes this stock price go up, or if they just shut down over there, so they think they're gonna shut down over here too. I don't know what it is, but just watch it. Watch the news and be nimble with it. Next one is, and I'll give you levels later on today on this. Next one is Penn. Penn has a same kind of thing, has like a high, a low here, lower low, higher low. So like kind of an inverse head and shoulders, kind of a falling wedge breakout, kind of a bullish move either way, because we broke out above those highs, right? Broke out above those highs, recaptured these lows here. And then we have 1, 2, 3 back-to-back weeks, 3 back-to-back weeks of higher highs, right? This one kind of slowed down a little bit, so I'm wondering, I'm like interested in seeing what it's going to do. It is forming a nice handle here, and even like an upside, like a bull flag here, upside H, whatever, however you see it, right? I think that above 34.75, 34.74, and then above 35, then we can start to work our way up. Look at all this price action here. We might, this looks like it's magnetic. This looks like price wants to go back and just get back into this zone here. Right, so let me draw a box on this. The consolidation is very clear, but you have all this whole area that price looks like it wants to get back into. So, so that's what I'm targeting on Penn. I'll give you numbers on this a little bit later because I don't have them ready yet. Roblox, same thing. It has kind of a double bottom with a higher low, right? Consolidation, cup, handle. So it's just bullish on multiple fronts. High lows here in the handle, and now we're at a very, very key resistance level here at 42. Was that 42.93? And we're above it, and we're testing it from the top. So I'll rely on BT to keep us posted on Roblox because she has a good pulse on this. If you look at the weekly's been very bullish. 3 back-to-back weeks of inside this one candle. So this one candle, these 3 weeks are still within the range of that one candle. This one candle here, right? So which if you look at it on the daily is, here's our range from this low here to this high of this week here. We're still within that range. So, and we're looking like we want to go to the upside and break it up, right? So I think a strong break of this range will give us a big move. I put levels, but 50 looks like it's magnetic, to be honest with you. And let's put the SMAs on it, see where they're at. And we're above the 21, above the 50. The 21 is above the 50, and then the 200 is way up here. So, so this might have a nice move in it, but I'm really interested to see it above 44. So it's gonna be top watch. Roblox likes to make nice moves too, and TTM is positive, and so is MACD on a weekly. So that's very nice. That means that we'll probably continue to stay positive. Next one is RCL. RCL has a wedge, and it's breaking out of the wedge on a daily. The TTM just fired green on Friday. MACD regained bullish strength. Positive earnings results, positive earnings per share, as well as positive revenue. And we have not an inside week, we have a down week technically, but if you look at the actual price action, it tells you that we're gonna go up, right? Like the range broke down below the previous range of the other week, but we're going up, we're headed up, right? We got the cup, and you got the handle, a little breakout with a little wedge, right? So follow that white line, that's my VWAP. It looks like a cup with a handle, and then we got the wedge here breaking out. I'll draw some quick levels on this, and I'll give you some more precise ones later on. I have a family thing I gotta be ready for soon, so. But I love these levels on RCL. RCL is another one that, just like Caesar and even like Penn, they're kind of susceptible to whatever's going on in the market for gamblers and for travel and they're all kind of in the same thing. So, and they're all susceptible to COVID news. Now we got monkeypox. So just be nimble. If you like it, take it. I like this to 40. 40 is a nice even number. From there, we can kind of work our way back up. If you want downside, you could take it down into the bottom into this support line here, maybe 34.55. I don't love it to the downside only because it's showing a lot of strength. But if you want it, you can take it to just about there, to the downside. And I'll post the levels in the Watchlist channel a little bit later. Next one is Ford. Well, my last one is Ford. Ford had a inverse head and shoulders form on a previous resistance. Previous support level. Very, very key support level because it actually looks like it's a supply zone, a demand zone. That is a demand zone now that I'm looking at it. So I'm happy that I looked at it on the weekly. So we have this weekly demand zone right here actually. And so inverse head and shoulders, which is a bullish pattern on a weekly demand zone with positive earnings. That's extremely bullish in my mind, right? So Ford obviously made a massive move. I didn't want to chase it on Friday, but we should have definitely called out this week's plays. Above 15, which is the pivot here on the right, on the left. I don't know my direction. I need some coffee. Above 15. Above 15. Where's my, okay. Above 15, which is right here. That they perfectly hit 15, and rejected, which is nuts. So 15 is going to be hard resistance. 15, we can get and the thing with Ford that I want you to be aware of is if you're playing weeklies, then be happy with, load it and be happy with less profit. Be happy with 20%, 30%, 40%, right? 50%, and 50% is a banger, but be happy with less profits and if you're playing weeklies. And really, I would suggest to play a little bit more time on these because this thing moves so slow. From where it is now to all the way up here is only $2, right? So you just gotta, and some of these, like if you look at like Disney puts a $2 day on a regular. Disney's dojis are $2, right? Disney's dojis are $2 versus the rangy days which you get like $5. So just, you know, put time on it or just be very quick. These are relatively cheap plays. You can load up on them, get like a 10 pack, and then at 30%, 20% trim 9 of them, keep one runner, call it a day. So let me look in the chat. I see Apple. So for Apple, we have very similar setup. Inverse head and shoulders, right? We have test support here, break, and then reclaim it. Test support here, falling wedge, break out, you know, gap, all that. Positive earnings, which is great for Apple and great for the market. We do have a supply zone here that we got to test. Apple, I'm gonna have to take a little bit more time to kind of work through because it's a little bit more complicated. I watch Apple every single day. I'm a shareholder of Apple. It's one of my favorite companies to own. So I'll give you a more detailed analysis. But right now, I'm just worried about this supply zone right here at 165.59. We have a good reason to take profit, especially after this big move up. I have a nice reason to take profit, even with good earnings. So, but I'm bullish on it. I like it. If you look at the weekly MACD just went positive. TTM is going to 0 from negative, and now we're gonna enter this area where we have some recent chops. So, let's see. I like this one here. I like this one there. Right? I got that, and then we got that. But we have to make it through these supply zones. Through these supply zones first, in order to get to like the 171s above this daily supply. So I'll keep watching on Apple. Apple's good though. It might have positive earnings drift. People love Apple, especially on Mondays, especially at the beginning of the month, especially on green days. So, and the weekly MACD looks really, really great. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back-to-back directional up days. Fresh high on this day, fresh high on this day, fresh high, on this week for 6 weeks. So very, very bullish. Let's look at AMD. AMD has, where's AMD? AMD is still in a pretty hard downtrend, I would say. I'm looking at this channel here. We have this high, we have this high, and now we're pretty much at the top of the channel. So we can easily break out of it. And then the next one, I would call it like right around here. So we're in the channel, clear downtrend, lower highs and lower lows. So we have to, right now we started forming like fresh higher highs and higher lows within this past couple of weeks, right? So within these 4 weeks, higher highs and higher lows. Overall still in a downtrend, but I mean the rest of the market's overall still in a downtrend. So break of the downtrend here at the 2.618 fib, just right here, 94.80 is going to be a tough level. 95 obviously is going to be a tough level because it's 95, and then from there we can kind of take out some of these stops here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some levels here, and then let's see, MACD and TTM on a daily look great. We got the bullish flip on a MACD on a weekly, right? We got that bullish flip with the lines all the way down here. So you know I like that. And then this is headed back to 0. This is headed back to the 0 line, which is this green where the green dots are. And they have earnings though. They have earnings on the 1st tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to, or sorry, the 3rd. So the 3rd, Wednesday will tell you which direction is going to go. I think we can play upside between now and Wednesday as long as it breaks above this 94.80, as long as Apple is green, as long as the market is green, right? As long as Nvidia is green, as long as chips are green. We have an SOXL swing that I put out on Friday. That's set up the same way pretty much. Cup and handle, breakout. We're gonna take out this high, take out this, work our way into this high, back into this box. SOXL is a 3x daily semiconductor bull ETF. So AMD move up, SOXL move up, Nvidia move up, right? TSM, all that. So I like it. It looks good. It looks good. You gotta be aware of the trend line, and we have to be aware of earnings before we put all of our money into it. PayPal broke out of, it had a double bottom, Broke out of a kind of a falling wedge. You can kind of see it. Let me just draw it real quick. I'm rushing because I gotta get out of here in about 20 minutes. Let's see. But I'm not gonna rush the analysis. I'm just gonna rush in the way that I speak. So we had that falling wedge breakout. Let's see. Okay, we had the falling wedge breakout, and then kind of a cover handle, you know, however you see it. I don't know what pattern you guys see. I don't know, like I see them all. I've been looking at charts for years. So I see every single pattern known to man, you know. If it has a name, then I can technically try to, you know, I'll be able to see it. But I like the falling wedge breakout. I like PayPal a lot. I like their business a lot. I'm a customer of theirs. I usually just pay whenever I shop online. I use PayPal as the processor, because I don't like to put my credit card information on websites because it takes time. And so I usually just use PayPal, link it to my bank account, and pay cash for stuff whenever I can. Breakout above this high of day, get 88.99, which will be pretty much 89. From there you get 90. 90 is an even number, and then from there you get some of these upside targets. PayPal's good because you can play both directions. Break of day low, we got this day low, we got this day low, and then we got this day here, and then we got boom, that day there. So PayPal is really, really good in both directions. Earnings will tell you where it's gonna go. It looks like it's bullish based on a weekly. Weekly looks very bullish. You know, inside, kind of an inside week here looks like, and then it broke out into the upside. So we really got to take out this week. This week showed a lot of strength to the downside. So we really got to take out this target here at 88.99. 89 is your target. Take 89 out, and then let me just make it an even 89 if I can. Yeah, we just do it manually. 89 is the target. Take out 89 with some gumption and some gusto, and I think that PayPal will be released from its agony that it's been in, falling from 220, even more, wow, falling from 320 all the way to where we at, $86, right? I'm not saying we're going back up there, but at least we can go back up here to the hundreds, right? So 90 and then 100 are key levels. PayPal. So let's look at Square. SQ is one of my favorites to trade lately, because I've been in tune with it. So it broke out of this wedge, came back, tested a previous resistance, found support, right? This has the same look as, I think, is it Roblox or is it Penn? Has the same look as Penn, where it kind of broke out and then came down, pulled back a little bit, and now it's forming kind of an upside H, right? Same thing. It broke out, came back, and now it's forming kind of an upside H. Some of the old levels are intact here, 76.24. Above that, we can get to, let me get my Ray tool. And then did we form a higher? I gotta put my strat assistant on. I can't tell. I can't tell if we formed a higher week. Somebody let me know. Look to the left and see if we formed a higher week or not. I can't really tell from here. Let's see. Get rid of this one. Get rid of that. Okay. Let's see. Let me zoom in on this. Zoom in. See if where we were at. Oh yeah, we have an inside week. Inside week. So the range of this week is inside the range of last week. Or the range of last week is inside the range of the previous week, right? But obviously, as you can tell, it looks like it wants to break up to the upside. So being an inside week, that means that there's potential for a big move. Range contraction equals range expansion. This is a small range going to large range. So let's see what it does. I love SQ for this week. They have earnings when? On the 4th. So that is on Thursday. So we can play it into earnings. I mean, I'm bullish enough on SQ to play through earnings, right? They got beat up. I'm sure they guided down on this day. You know, the last earnings they had really bad report. So I'm sure they guided down. I'm sure they lowered their expectation for our shareholders. So I think we can play it. I love the price on it right now. If you like shares, you should buy them now too. You should have been buying them, but definitely buy them now if you like them. So SQ looks really good, very bullish. Also kind of see a cup and handle here, right? Here's the start of the cup, curve, come back, handle. Here's the top of the handle, break out through this line here. 70. It's all about 76.24, right? Or what we have here, we have 76.50. Let's just call it 76.50. That's your number to beat. 76.50. And let's do the same. Let's give it the same treatment that we gave to PayPal. 76.50. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the watch list channel later. Later on today, once I have a moment to settle down and kind of work these levels. But this is one of the better setups in the week. I mean, this is just like Penn, right? Just like Caesar, a little bit like Roblox. They all kind of have the same look, right? So I like this a lot. This SQ, Dominion. Terry says D, Dominion. Oh, this is beautiful. Whew. This is beautiful. Okay, so we have. Oh, let me see. Where do I start? Let's use the fib on a weekly and draw that impulsive move. Extend this 81.29. I like to draw my fibs to see 28. It's gonna have to be 28. I like to draw my fibs to see how far these things pull back and where they pull back to. This thing pulled back to 38.2 fib. It pulled back to retrace 62% of the move. It went all the way up, made a 100% move, pulled back 62% of it, and then said, nope, I'm gonna buy it. And they gapped up, broke out through previous high. So that's a very bullish move. Very bullish move. Let me see what's going on here. All right. There. Okay. Very, very bullish move for Dominion. This is energy, so it's gonna move just like XLF moves. They have earnings, it looks like, on the 9th, which is next week Tuesday. So right now, I mean, I have this line at 82.36 from when. Let's see if I can discover when it was. Who knows? But it looks like it's coming to play a bunch as resistance here, a little bit of support here. So 82.36 is the number to beat. This ticker moves. It makes moves. Let's see, low of 79.49, high of 81.46. So it's about $2. $2 move for an energy company is not bad. Dominion is one of those tickers that every time I'm on TradingView, if you guys are on TradingView, then you know, like, TradingView is great because you can switch time frames really quickly by just typing what time frame you want to go on, right? But for example, I'll try to put daily, and it's not D, it's 1D is 1 day, right? So I look at Dominion like 5 times a day because I'm always like speeding through, and I put in D, hit enter, and I get Dominion when I meant to put, like, Apple 1 day, for example. So I see it all the time. I think I played it once or twice, but yeah, break above 82.36. We can see 82.56. This looks like it. You might need to buy some time on it, or just stay pretty close to the money, stay at the money, because this thing can, if it goes sideways on you 1-2 days, then give you 2 days like this, then you're gonna get killed. But I do like the double bottom. I like the higher low, right? Let me just, here's one bottom, here's the other bottom. It's higher, right? So double bottom, higher low. The weekly, both momentum indicators are working their way back to zero. This looks like a range expansion also on the weekly. Let's see. It looks like it did this, which means, and then it looks like it rejected hard. This is just kind of absurd, but when you pull it down like this, it looks better, right? So I have like a love-hate relationship with broadening formations, because like sometimes they just really don't make sense. Like, is it really gonna go up to 105? I mean, it can, yeah, why not, right? Fuck it, why not? So Dominion looks good. I like these upside levels. If you want downside levels, I would just play break of let's see, downside levels, break of the high here, break of this high here that it took on Friday. If it breaks it, is bearish. Break it, come back, play to the 80, which is a round number. From there, play down the fibs, right? Just play down the fibs. If you want to draw your fib, draw it from the low of the week of June 13th up to the high of the week of July 5th. And then you have your fib levels to play to the downside. We also have this trend line, which looks like it might hold based on what the rest of energy did and based on what it's doing now. So you can play down into the trend line. I don't like it to the downside. I think it has better upside, personally. So let's look at AMC, and then I have time for like 2-3 more requests. AMC looks like it's forming a bear flag on the daily. Big downside move. Toast gave us a level at 1839, and that was a hard rejection level. Hard rejected on what week was that? 2 weeks ago. The 21st of July. Hard rejection on that level. So that's a good level to keep in your chart. 1839. Where did this touch? 1837. So pretty damn close. So it looks like it's bear flagging now. Let me throw some moving averages on this. I just want to see where everything is at. Yeah, it's rejecting the 21 day. So it fell underneath the 21 day, now rejecting it. It looks like it wants to try it again. So on Monday, it needs to really take out the 21 day. Your risky entry would be the break of day high. Much better entry would be anything above the 21 day. As long as it's showing, you see volume and strength and a bunch of people talking about it, then I think that it has a chance. Let me just, no sync. If you guys have any more requests, just drop them in I have like 10 minutes. Just drop them in the study hall channel, please. Any requests so we can get through a couple more. Let's see, I got that one to the downside. So break of day low is good. Let's go into the 30-minute on this. I would probably take it here. Break of this 1415. And then we got a break of the low, which is a previous pivot. If you look to the left, you got that pivot there. We tested it on Friday. The break of that, break of 1386. I don't like playing AMC. AMC, you have to catch it when it makes like big rangy, like gappy days like this. Catch it on a day like that. Otherwise, it's not moving a lot. You know, like it's just I'm not fond of it lately. When it was up here, it was much better because you get like the same percent move, but in dollar amount, it's much bigger, right? Up here in dollar amount is much bigger. Now, like $15, it needs to move. You know, if it moves 10% for the day, which is a big move, that's only $1.40, right? So, and it might do it in the first 2 candlesticks and then go flat for the rest of the day. So, just be aware of that. But anyway, this looks like it's bear flagging to me, and break above the 21 can get bullish. Break below this 50 is the real treat for us to come test the bottom of this broadening formation that I have here. Hold on. Yeah, so I drew this on, I guess, on the weekly or something, but it's falling down. Looks like it wants to maybe retest it on a break, come back down to $11. But if you're a shareholder, then that's a good opportunity to buy hella more shares, right? I got to take a closer look at AMD. I got to look at GameStop too, because they move in unison for the most part. Let's look at I bet you GME looks exactly the same. Yeah, and I even have my bear flag drawn on it. So, and it's the same thing, rejecting the 21. So watch GME. If GME moves up and breaks up and starts moving up, AMC will move up. GME is much better because it's at a higher value. So a 10% move is a $3 day. So you're going to get more on your options. So just watch it with GME and with AMC. I would keep them on, like, if you're going to watch one, watch both of them together. Set your alerts. If you like AMC, maybe buy some time on it. Do they have earnings? AMC has earnings this week also. AMC has earnings on the 4th of August, which is Wednesday. So just be aware of that. AMC and I guess, yeah, movie. Look at viewership, right? Look at the movies that came out. That Pet Heroes movie came out today or yesterday. So think about things like that. I mean, and think about that earnings report's already been prepared. The one that's going to come out has been written, has been rehearsed. They're not going to talk about what happened this weekend. So think about like earlier in the quarter, what movies came out, and did you go see movies? Did you hear any box office records, right? So think about that. I think Multiverse of Madness came out a couple months ago, so that might be a good one. So think about it like that. So Mara is beautiful. Let's see. The Mara weekly is very nice. It just crossed on the MACD to the upside, which means we might have, and the lines are down here. So what does that mean? We have a big histogram on the way. We have some big move on the way, as long as these lines can get back up to here, because they were up here before and now they're way down here. Last time they were way down here. Look at that. Last time they were way down here, they went way up here. Last time they were way down here, they went way up here. So we're looking for the same thing. We're looking for it to come at least above the zero line once again, right? TTM looks like it's gonna get stable soon. That means it's gonna turn red, maybe. I don't know. This looks like it's working its way back up. This is a much better spot than down here. You know, and people were just mad short on Mara, hella short on Mara. Now that Bitcoin is, people are showing more interest in Bitcoin, and you're seeing some of these names consolidating. I know Ethereum is consolidating like crazy, getting ready for a big move. I think more attention, more eyes on Mara, Riot, right? Coinbase. So inside week, so the range of this week is inside the range of last week. We tested the top by like pennies and pulled back. So I think it's still very, very bullish. If you look at the chart on the left, the daily chart, that shows you that it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a hard rejection. It was just a little bit on Friday. We came up to it. Actually, let's look at the intraday real quick. Yeah, I mean, we tested it in the morning. Right? Big move. This is last week's range from here. Boom, big move up, double top, fell all the way back down, pulled back, caught support on this 200 day. And now we're forming higher lows and higher highs. Even on the pullback on this day, it's still higher than the pullback of the previous day. Friday's price is still, the low is still higher than the low of the previous 4 days. Right? This is nice. This is a nice place to be right now because we're inside this box. So if we decide to rediscover that high of day, then I think that will make a nice move. It looks like Mara didn't recover when SPX 15 minute when SPX pulled back, this first pullback, Mara just didn't recover. Right, that first pullback, Mara just didn't make its way back up like the rest of the market did. Looking at it on the smaller time frame, on the 15, it does look kind of bearish, but I wouldn't be too concerned. As long as it holds this trend line, I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, you know, maybe it'll break the H and test the low of day, but then it still looks like, look at all this other price where it was at, right? So I like it. I gotta look at it a little bit closer. I love the fact that it's forming a cup and handle. Here's your cup. There's your handle right there. This from up here to down here. There's your handle breaking up. Inside week with momentum on the bull side. So really we need to take out, if you're not in Mara, if you want to position yourself in Mara, wait till it breaks yesterday's high, or rather Thursday's high. Obviously Friday's high, which is just that hard resistance right there. And then from there we have a little bit of a gap, and then we have some good price to take out over here. I like time on Mara. Mara, you know, you buy like a month, buy it 1 month out or something like that. Maybe August 19th, maybe September's if you can afford something that you like. Don't go too far out, and I mean we can get a nice move out of this bull flag breakout, cup and handle, upside H, whatever, however you see it. We can get a very nice move out of it. So I would buy some time. Let me see if I can, where's my phone? Let me pull up the chains real quick on Mara. Let's see. So I'll give you guys a full analysis on all of these by tonight at some point. It might be at midnight, but you'll get it. Options, you'll have it by tomorrow morning before the day opens. Let's see. A lot of OI and volume on the 13 call for this week. A lot of open interest and volume for the 14 call. The 14 call has 15,000 contracts were sitting in open interest as of Friday. So 15,000 orders that weren't closed. And then 13,000 contracts in volume on the 14 call were traded on Friday. Oh, I bet you those people still held. I bet you a lot of those people are still in the play holding. So the 14 call for Friday looks really good. It's 73 on the bid side, 74 on the ask side. Let's see if there's another chain that's pretty stacked. The 15 is pretty stacked, but I think it's too far for this week. Maybe not. 15 had 972. Sorry, 15 had 3,339 contracts in open interest, and 3,000 contracts traded on Friday, and the market price for the contract is $48. So 15 calls not bad. Let me look at next month, and then I'll leave you guys. Let's look at 819. 819 15 call. 819 15 call had 3,200 open interest with 1,100 in volume, and the bid ask is 115 and 118. So if you want to buy some time, there's no problem with buying time, right? We don't get those crazy percent gains that we do with weeklies, but you know, weeklies are the casino. You know, you play weeklies, and then you better catch a move while it's there. If you stay at the party for too long, you'll be the last one there, right? So with weeklies, get in, get out, take some of that profit, go buy some monthlies, some 819s, and then, you know, that's the way you do it. And if you guys don't know, that's the way you do it. You scalp until you can buy weeklies. You buy weeklies until you have enough money to buy monthlies. You buy monthlies so you can buy quarterlies, and then from there you can buy leaps. Meanwhile, still scalping, still day trading, but you work your way up. So I like Mara 819 15 call. I like Mara. Let's look at the 14 call for Mara. The 14 call, yeah, I like the 15 call better for 819. More people are interested in that. And I wouldn't go into September. I don't think people are trading it into September. The 14 and 15 for this week are really, and even the 14 and a half are really stacked, right? So we break this H or this bull flag or whatever, however you see it, up a handle, break this weekly to the upside, and we can get into 15 pretty damn quick. So, all right, guys, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this call. I'm loving the turnout, loving the participation. I think there might be a part 2 to this call tonight. I have to check with Frank to see if he's going to do one or not. But each and every Sunday, Gold Rush Weekly Watch List. Thanks again for joining us. Good luck in the markets, and I will see you on the next one. And I'll have the analysis posted up in the server. And if you're not part of the server, you're watching this on YouTube, visit goldrushgang.net. You get 1 week free, and your job for that 1 week is to make the $75 that it costs currently, $75 that it will cost you for the month. So your job is to make $75. Now you paid your first month. Then you can make another $75 and pay your next month. Or you can do like we did on Friday and take a Tesla 880 call from $85 all the way to $1,500. And then you can pay for 20 months of your Gold Rush Gang membership. All right. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Keep looking at charts. Don't get off just because I'm going to get off. I want to see you guys post some of these charts in Watchlist or in Study Hall. If you have any questions, hit my DM or post it up in the chat, and we will chop it up on the next one. Thank you guys. Peace.